Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to our second edition of Adhwa'a Al-Hedaya's TEDx talk, an independently organized event licensed by TED. Today isn't just another day for us to just enjoy another school event. It's a celebration of courage, creativity, and conviction. Each student on this stage that you're about to see has spent weeks refining his skill and his idea so we can hear it today in the clearest form they can present. That included a lot of hours, a lot of preparation, and a lot of dedication on their part. This isn't just another experience for them. This is a defining moment in their lives. As teachers, mentors, and parents, we've had the privilege of watching these kids grow, watching them actually becoming the individuals you're about to see on stage. And this is actually a moment to remind us all. TEDx is not just about your age, it's not about how old you are, it's about what potential do you carry within your skills, within your abilities that allows you to be a better person one day. This is what we are all here about. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the English department as well as the activities department for all the dedication and hard work that they have exerted for the last 4 or 5 weeks even. Without their efforts and everyone's effort, honestly, and dedication, we would not have been here today. As for our audience, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing us the exemplary behavior that we would expect from our students, and thank you to all our parents and all our guests today for attending and making it to this event today. And let's all enjoy and support our speakers today, and that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
From Kenya to Colombia, from Iraq to Korea, in slums, in schools, in prisons, and in theaters, every day people gather at TEDx events around the world to hear the best ideas bubbling up in their communities. Today, you are part of a global conversation about our shared future. So what is this TEDx? TEDx is a TED conference, a non-profit devoted to ideas worth spreading. We grant free licenses to allow TED-like events to spread globally. This event today is based on the TED conference format and ideals, but is independently organized by your local community. So please make sure to thank the team of so hard on today's event. It's their ideas, dedication, and time that made it all possible. It's they who booked all the speakers, and the views you'll hear today are, of course, those of those speakers, not necessarily of TEDs. But we hope their talks spark an exciting conversation among you. This is a day for curiosity and for skepticism, for openness and for critical thinking, for inspiration and for action. The more you enter into it, the more you'll take out. And now, on with the show.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ayman Musa'ad. And before I start, I want you to close your eyes and imagine this. You are standing in a massive stadium. The lights are bright. The crowd is cheering. You can feel your heart beat. And the referee blows the whistle, and the ball is coming your way. That's what I dream about every day. My name is Ayman Musa'ad, and football has been part of my life as long as I can remember. The first time I kicked the ball when I was 6 years old, and honestly, I think that ball is still rolling somewhere. Back then, I didn't care where I played. It could be in the street, the park, or even in the living room, until I once broke that lamp. Sorry, Mom, for that broken lamp. All I needed was a ball and a bit of space. When I started, I wasn't the best player. I missed a lot of chances, slipped more times than I can count. But sometimes, the ball bumped me instead of the net. But no matter what, I kept playing every day, trying to get better. After a while, I joined a football academy, and that's when things really started to change. I was surrounded by talented players, amazing coaches who helped me improve even more. Training was tough and sometimes was hard. Sometimes I felt tired or frustrated. But no matter what, I kept playing, pushing myself, trying to get better and better. Eventually, I earned my spot at the Academy's main team. And that was of the happiest moments of my life. Together, we played in matches, tournaments, competitions, and we won championships that I will never forget. The feeling of hitting the final whistle and know that you have done it, that's nothing like it. Football isn't just my favorite sport. It's my story, my passion, and my dream. And who knows, maybe one day you will see me scoring a goal on the camera, and I will wink at the camera and say, I told you so. And my message to you, that's never give up. Stay pushing yourself, and you will make it a day. And that's all. Thank you, and wish me luck out there.
Welcome to our second TEDx event at AHS International Schools. I'm joined here with Wasim. Wasim, my question is, before you come on stage and deliver your speech, how do you feel and how did you prepare for your talk?
I feel very confident. It's challenging, but it takes a lot of dedication and diligence. I prepared very well and very confident and ready as a bullet. So I will do the uttermost best of me.
Thank you, Wasim, and I wish you all the luck. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Wasim, and I'm a senior, which means I'm living in that strange place between excitement and exhaustion. Senior year is supposed to be special, right? Many people keep telling us that. Enjoy it. It's your last year. And I do, for only 5 minutes, until reality hits. Grades, standardized exams, university applications, and that one haunting thought. So what's next for me? Honestly, a nap. This year threw everything at me. SAT, GAT, and now the SAAT waiting for me like an impending doom. Each looked like a mountain at first. Long nights, too much caffeine, and that one constant thought in my head, what if I mess this up? But I pushed through. I learned how to manage my time, calm my nerves, and trust the work I put in. Every test taught me something, not just about formulas or vocabulary, but about resilience, to keep moving even when everything feels overwhelming. Then comes the next big question, so what are you going to study? And to be honest, I don't know. But seriously, choosing a major is trying to predict who I'll be in 10 years. Some days I'm passionate about engineering, other days I'm into medicine. You know what's funny? It's funny how this year holds so many expectations. We are supposed to be at our best, perform at our peak, make memories and somehow stay sane. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to remember what I ate yesterday. But what I've realized is this. Senior year isn't just about grades or test scores. It's about learning how to carry yourself through pressure. It's about learning how to move even when everything feels impossible. It's about realizing that doing your best doesn't mean perfect. It means trying even when it's hard. And to be honest, I'll be frank with you. I'll admit, I almost didn't sign up for the TEDx, not because I didn't want to share my story, but because I doubted if I could handle one more thing. And that reminded me of something. Life. Life is full of choices like that. We can either play it safe and remain comfortable, or we can take a push forward and get a new experience. And sometimes these scary choices are the ones that change us the most. I think every senior shares this quiet fear of doing the wrong move, of falling short, of not living up to what's expected. But what I've learned is this. None of us has it all figured out. And that's okay. It's not supposed to. Growth doesn't come from certainty. It comes from learning how to move even when things are uncertain. This year is a test. not of intelligence, but of patience, resilience, and faith. Faith that what are you doing will lead to something meaningful. And in between the stress, the late night studying, the endless deadlines, there were those moments, laughing with friends, finishing a project you thought was impossible to finish, or just realizing how far you have come since your first year. All these moments make it worth it. And remember, senior year isn't just the end of something, it's the beginning of everything that comes after. It's a reminder that pressure can shape us, challenges can define us, and uncertainty can make us stronger and more confident. So to my fellow seniors, I know it's tough, but don't let the weight of this year crush you. Let it build you. Because this year is your test, not of intelligence, but of discipline, strength, and heart. And I truly believe you'll pass it, inshallah. Not just with grades, but with growth, courage, and memories that will last long after the exams are over. So yes, senior year is indeed stressful, but it's also proof that we can handle more than we think. And maybe, just maybe after everything is done, we can finally have the nap that we all have been waiting for. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Tahan, and I'm a senior. And I would like to start my speech with a question. What's one small action you can start today that will change the story of your tomorrow? It's a big question, right? We're often told that transformation, success, happiness all comes from this huge breakthrough. The dramatic, quit my job, move to another country, and now I'm a millionaire type of story. But for most of us, it doesn't really work that way. What if I told you that you could change your life just by taking one step at a time? At first you might think, one step, that won't matter. After all, it seems so frivolous. But here's the truth that I've experienced firsthand. Consistent small steps will change you far more than large, inconsistent leaps. For example, every day I write down my tasks on a piece of paper. It's such a simple thing, but it didn't start because I was organized. Quite the opposite. There was a time when my life felt like it was moving faster than I could keep up. I'd wake up with 10 things to do, and by bedtime, I'd done 2, and stressed about the other 8. My brain was like 15 open tabs, and none of them were loading. One day, in frustration, I grabbed a pen and started writing down my tasks. I can't explain the feeling, but seeing them on paper grounded me. It gave me this small but powerful sense of control. Over time, this habit became my anchor. It didn't just organize me, it organized my schedule, it organized my life, it made me see the value of my day. And every check mark meant that I was moving forward, even if just for a little bit. Reading also became one of my daily habits. Now, I wasn't always a reader. In fact, when I used to open a book, I'd suddenly remember every single thing I'd ignored for the week. Doing laundry, urgent. Organizing my drawer, it was critical. Anything but reading that book. But I decided to change that. So I challenged myself to read 3 pages a day. That's it, 3 pages, no more, no less. At first, it felt almost pointless. What difference would it make? But I kept going. And over time, I've realized that this simple thing has made my thoughts clearer and my ideas sharper. And it made me see that knowledge doesn't come in one night. It's not an overnight job. It's a process that requires patience, endurance, and perseverance. Saving money also taught me something similar. Now, we all know saving isn't exciting. It's not Instagram worthy. No one's posting, look, I just saved 5 riyals today. But for me, saving became a symbol of discipline. I started not because I wanted to build wealth, but because I wanted to build consistency. At first, again, it felt silly. I mean, what's 5 riyals going to do? You can't even buy coffee with that. But I kept putting that small amount aside. And I've noticed something, that every day, it wasn't just about saving that money. It was about the mindset, that I could build something huge, slowly, but deliberately. All of these things have one thing in common. is that they're so small, but you repeat them every day. Transformation doesn't happen in one big moment. It happens in the quiet repetition of the smallest choices you face every single day. Big changes look exciting, but they burn out fast. Small changes look boring, but they build empires. So if you ever feel stuck, lost, or overwhelmed, don't wait for the perfect plan or the big moment. Start small, start messy, start now. And remember, even the Kaaba was built one stone at a time. Thank you.
Now that you have delivered your speech, you shared with us your thoughts, your experience in TEDx event, tell me, what advice would you give to somebody else who would like to do the same thing and, to have a speech in TEDx?
I would like, first of all, to say you have to not stress yourself. Try and practice as much as you want. Be cooperative with the orders given. And inshallah, everything will go as smooth as you want it to be, and it will be above the expected.
Thank you so much, and we hope we will see you in our next edition. Thank you. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you, mister.
All right, so today you are about to go on stage and deliver your speech. Could you tell us a bit about it? Just a sneak peek.
It's about controlling oneself, since I view it's a very big issue in this generation.
All right, I wish you best of luck, Kareem. Thank you.
You're welcome, mister. Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Kareem Wissam, and I'm from class 10A. I would like to address a topic that I feel many people have trouble with in this generation: controlling oneself. So I'll start with a question. Did you ever feel the sweat on your palms, the twitch in your eye, the floodgate opening in your mind as your gut clenches? In short, the feeling of losing control. You probably have, honestly, all of us probably have. There's always going to be that one person, whether a coworker, a colleague, a boss, anyone, who can get on your nerves despite you trying your best not to. That feeling you get, a crippling feeling that when you just can't hold yourself together. So how do you deal with it? Well, once when I was younger, I was just in that scenario. I had been having a peaceful conversation with one of my friends when someone decided he wanted a reaction out of me. He came over and started annoying me. And back then I had a very short fuse. I'd get angry really quickly. And while I, of course, tried to ignore him, eventually I just couldn't hold it in. He was as persistent as that fly in your ear when you're trying to go to sleep. Well, that kept me up many nights. Anyways, as I said, eventually I snapped. I couldn't hold it in any longer. I lashed out, screamed, argued. It was a fiasco. And in the end, what did I get? Absolutely nothing. I got in trouble. I didn't even win the argument. And he left smiling and laughing because he got exactly what he started to do in the first place. I think many people can relate to that emotion, the feeling like you can hold yourself, but you just don't. You lash out. So, through perseverance, I have been able to learn many ways that you can stop that feeling, to control yourself. Now, you probably think I'm going to mention the 3 pieces of advice put in every single show for kids that you can even find on the back of cereal boxes sometimes. But instead, I'll try to provide a strategy that's worked for me personally that I believe can work for many people, like many people in our audience right now. First thing, take a breath. Right now, the main problem with an argument is that you're taking it personally. You feel like he's attacking me, I have to defend myself. Instead, put down a mental anchor. Close your eyes. Make sure to cut eye contact. I like closing my eyes. Other people might like looking up or down. Just cut eye contact and take a long breath. 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. Doing this builds a wall, a mental wall between you and the aggressor. It no longer feels as personal as it did, which helps a lot in controlling yourself. Next, make sure to ask yourself the important questions. Your brain at the moment is probably asking you the questions. How do I deal with him? How do I get out of this argument with the most damage done? Well, these aren't the correct questions to ask. Instead, with your eyes closed, ask yourself the why questions. Why is he doing what he is doing right now? Why am I getting angry? Why am I having trouble retreating or getting rid of the argument? Asking that will make it feel less like a direct argument between two sides and more so like an interrogation. You interrogating him just without him getting the notice. Next, retreat. Yes, many people in our generation confuse retreat with cowardice, when it's actually quite the opposite. Retreat is an act of maturity. It takes great emotional maturity and nuance to value your own emotional intelligence over a groundless argument you're having with someone who does not care about you one bit. So, retreat. It could be hard, but it's the most important and hardest step. Now, let's say you have retreated. That doesn't really help with the energy you have trapped in, the anger, the energy you want to exhaust somewhere. Your body's probably telling you to use it negatively, shout, go back, scream. But that isn't the way you do it. Instead, take that energy that you have stored up, put it into something else. It doesn't have to be useful, just has to not be negative. Take a run, jump, write something, scribble on a piece of paper, rip apart a paper. It all works, as long as you're putting that energy into something positive. Now that you have retreated and gotten rid of that energy, I would like you to set up your mental scoreboard. What does that mean? It means take a chair, sit alone, and ask yourself the how questions and the what questions now. It wasn't time to ask them back in the situation because that will just make you more aggressive. Now that you've quieted down and sat away, ask yourself the how and what questions. How did I deal with him? What was he like when he was arguing with me? Ask yourself these questions and answer them truthfully. Yes, I know, it is very difficult in this day and age, even for someone to be honest, even with himself sometimes. You have this image that you want to maintain to everyone. But for once, answer these questions the actual answer. Take it and note the answers, and believe me, you will see an improvement every single time. Now, it's important to note, this is a strategy that has worked for me. In the end, it may not work for you. Every person is different. You are a culmination of your past experiences, not mine or someone else's. So find your own technique, how you deal with anger, and learn it to heart. Take it to heart. Do your best to learn it. Now, final point. You will always have to deal with these kinds of people. The people who are simply annoying for no real reason. Maybe they have a reason, but you don't know. You will always deal with these figures in your life, whether a colleague, a friend, a coworker, a boss, anyone. So, it is very important that you learn your own way of dealing with them. Because, after all, Pythagoras once said, a man who is no master of himself is a master of none. And thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yas Abarish, and I'm very honored to stand before you all today. The theme of my talk for today is going to be something that I think we all wrestle with every day, which is connection in the digital age. And I want to start by asking you a question. Do you know that rush you get when your phone buzzes? That little hit of dopamine when someone likes your post, or when the group chat finally replies to a meme you sent 3 hours ago? I used to live for that. And honestly, if my phone was quiet for too long, I'd constantly refresh it to see if any new notifications popped up. On the surface, I was connected. I had active group chats, plenty of followers, and constant notifications. I was just a single tap away from reaching dozens of people instantly. But the more connected I was, the lonelier I actually felt. And I recall one night, it was past midnight and I was lying on my bed with the phone lighting up every few seconds. My story had just blown up more than usual, and people were commenting, reacting, and laughing at something funny I posted. Now, with all of this attention, all of these notifications, you'd think I'd be thrilled. I mean, that's what I wanted, right? But the louder my phone got, the quieter I became. And I remember putting my phone down, staring at the ceiling, and thinking to myself, not one of those people actually knew how my day went. Not one of them knew that I'd completely bombed the test earlier, or that I was lying on my bed feeling all small and defeated. What I called connection was really just noise. It was like being surrounded by a crowd, but still feeling invisible. And a little while later, I had a very different experience. I was at a family gathering, and honestly, I wasn't in the mood. While everybody was chatting and socializing, I was just scrolling on my phone in the corner, trying to escape. Then, one of my cousins, who I don't usually talk to very often, came up to me and asked, "Yo, Iyas, how has it been going with you lately?" And honestly, I thought about brushing it off with the usual, "I'm fine," but there was something about the way he asked. It felt like he actually wanted to know. So I opened up a little. And before I knew it, we were having this real conversation about school, pressure, and how overwhelming everything felt. He shared his own struggles. And for the first time in a while, I felt understood. That conversation, no performance, no filters, no audience, it stuck with me. It reminded me what connection was truly supposed to feel like. That's why, a little while later, while walking home with one of my friends, I tried to do the same thing. Usually, our conversations were all surface-level talks and some random updates here and there. It was nothing too serious. But instead of tossing out the usual, "What's up?" I tried this time to ask him, "How have you been doing lately?" with a calm and an affectionate tone. And honestly, I felt very uncomfortable. I didn't know that if he'd think it was awkward or that he'd just laugh it off. But I stuck with it. I calmed down, I looked at him, and I gave him the space to answer. And what surprised me wasn't just what he said, but how the entire conversation shifted. He started sharing his own struggles. He talked about how overwhelming all of his classes felt. And I joined in too. I talked about how I'm very anxious about my future. And suddenly, this conversation wasn't just noise. It was connection. It was real, it was trust. And that's when it clicked for me. We live in a world where it's easier than ever to reach someone, yet harder than ever to feel reached. But maybe the answer isn't to disconnect from our devices, but to reconnect with each other. Because one honest conversation with a friend will always matter more than 100 empty notifications, and one true friend who truly knows you is better than 1,000 followers who don't. Thank you.
How was your performance and what do you think of it?
I think everything went great. It was an excellent performance. Everything went according to plan, and I believe all the practice was not in vain. Furthermore, I believe that as a team, we all did an amazing job. We all collaborated. We all had countless practice sessions, and thankfully in this event, it went very perfectly.
Thank you so much, Iyas. We are so proud of you and the rest of the team.
Hi everyone, my name is Adhwa'a. Today, I want to share an idea that completely changed the way I look at challenges and goals, and to be honest, how I look at myself. It's simple but powerful. Small, consistent actions can create big change. Now, I know that sounds like something you might see on a motivational poster or an Instagram quote, but for me, it became real through experience. Like many people, I used to think that success meant doing something big, studying for hours, learning fast, or making huge progress overnight. I thought that if I couldn't give something my full energy every single day, it wasn't worth doing at all, and that mindset held me back more than I realized. A few months ago, I started learning Python, a programming language I was really excited about. At first, I imagined I would be good at it in a few weeks, maybe build an app or a cool game. But things didn't go the way I wanted. I would start a lesson, get confused, skip a few days, and then come back and feel like I forgot everything. Sometimes I would skip an entire week just because I felt that no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get it. It was frustrating. I would see other people online finishing full courses or making projects while I was stuck with the basics. I started to doubt myself. Maybe I wasn't disciplined enough, or maybe I just wasn't good at coding. And the more I compared myself to others, the less motivated I felt to even try. Now, I think a lot of us have been there. That moment when you want to grow, but feel like you're just not moving forward. Then one day, I decided to change my approach. I told myself, okay, I might not be able to do 10 minutes, I might not be able to do 2 hours every day. But what about 10 minutes of Python? 10 minutes, that could mean reviewing one small concept, solving a single problem, or watching a short tutorial. That's it. No pressure to be perfect, and no guilt if I didn't do more. At first, it didn't feel like much. I didn't get any instant results, but I kept going. 10 minutes every day became a habit. After a few weeks, I noticed something. I could understand concepts faster, solve problems that confused me before. My confidence slowly grew, and I even began to enjoy learning Python again. What's funny is that the hardest part wasn't the Python itself. It was showing up every day, even to those 10 minutes. I learned that consistency didn't just build skill, it also built trust with yourself. Every small action is like a promise kept. You prove to yourself that you can stay committed, even when motivation fades. Over time, I learned that this idea applies to everything, not just coding. Whether you're learning an instrument, training for sports, or even improving your health. It's those tiny steps that make the difference. It's like how water shapes rock, not through one massive wave, but through gentle, steady persistence over time. We often think that we need to make huge leaps to be successful, but the truth is that big change is usually the result of hundreds of small steps that no one sees. It's that moment when you choose to read one more page, practice for 5 minutes, or try for one more time, even when you're tired. Those moments matter. They stack up. And yes, it's okay to miss one day, or even mess up sometimes. Progress isn't about being perfect. It's about getting back on track again and again, until persistence becomes part of who you are. Looking back, I don't even remember the exact day I started improving. It just happened gradually. One day I opened my computer and realized I could write code that I didn't even understand a month earlier. That's where I saw it clearly. Small steps lead to big change. So if you're sitting here thinking about a goal or a dream that you've been avoiding because it seems too hard or too far away, I want to challenge you to start small. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but today. Start with one thing. Do just 5 minutes. You may not see the difference tomorrow or even the next week, but trust me, you will eventually. Because growth isn't something that happens in a moment. It's something we build quietly through small repeated efforts. Every big achievement is a result of small steps, and these steps can be taken by anybody, including you. So my message is simple. Start with one small step today. Even if it feels tiny or imperfect, it might be something that will lead to big change and help you become the person you want to be. Thank you.
Hello there. Now that you have delivered your speech, the audience well received your topic. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
Yes, it was an outstanding event. I did well. I did better than expected. I expected to be nervous and things like that, but I did so good, and I'm happy about my performance.
Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Khalid Midani. I'm grateful to be speaking here today. I want to talk about an important topic, which is the importance of failure, and I hope that you can use my mistakes as tips in the future. You see, throughout my life, I've always suffered with failure. At home, at school, outside of school, just generally with experiences. And today, I'll be sharing the most impactful failure I have ever went through in my life. It all started about a year ago, where I had this huge problem. I spent countless amounts of money recklessly, like going out with my friends every Thursday night, or spending things online without looking at prices. And after a while, I realized that I had this problem. So, initially, I went to my dad, and I asked him if he had any chores for me around the house, because I needed money. And sure enough, he gave me a few here and there, and I made a few bucks, but it wasn't enough for me. I had this dream of making actual money, a good source of income, and I wasn't gonna let go of it. So I looked online, and I realized that starting a business nowadays is easier than ever. You can just go to a website, click a few buttons, and boom, you're a business owner within 2 minutes. So I started preparing. I watched YouTube videos, read about past people who have tried, and I started the business. I made ads, created web pages, spent many countless nights, on school days even, just to make it work. But after a while, I realized that this was gonna fail. I was moving basically with no plan, and I got no engagement on my videos, so I gave up the business. But deep inside of me, I still had that hunger, that drive to keep on going. So I went back in again. This time, I made a clothing brand because it was trending and I thought that I would do good at it. I made the hoodie design, I shot ads with it, I even ordered it to my home to film real ads instead of just using AI. I created a new web page made fully by me with full creativity. This time, I actually tried my best to make it work. But yet again, I failed. No engagement, no sales, and I was heartbroken. You see, this time, I actually really tried my best in it. And when you try your best at something and fail at it, you can't let go of that pain away easily. But looking back now, I realized that failing those two businesses wasn't a waste of time and money. I actually gained knowledge and characteristics that I wouldn't have without them, like discipline, patience, and consistency. So they weren't a waste of time after all. Let me tell you another story of how failure benefited me directly. See, over the last 4 years of my life, I've struggled with being overweight. And it was a hard time, because I never found a solution. I always lacked discipline, patience, and I gave up easily. You want to know when that problem was actually fixed? It was during those business days. Now you may be asking, how does opening and functioning two businesses help with achieving your goal of losing weight? Well, it's simple. When I gained those characteristics from the businesses, I used them to achieve my other goal, and it made it actually possible and achievable. So yes, I may have failed those two businesses, and it may have been heartbreaking at that time, but I actually gained from them, and it wasn't a loss after all. Look, my message is simple. Failing isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Each time you fail, each time you fall short, it's just proof that you tried. I learned that failure doesn't define who you are. It refines who you become. If I hadn't failed those two businesses, I wouldn't have learned to be disciplined, patient, and I wouldn't be the best version I am today. So the next time you fail, don't ask, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because that's how failure becomes your greatest teacher. Thank you for listening.
All right, Khaled, you did an amazing job on stage. The audience were clapping on their feet. An amazing performance. Tell me, what are your thoughts?
I'm so happy it went according to plan. All my practice sessions paid off in the end. And I was just happy because I was nervous before, but I put all that away and focused, and it ended up paying off.
Thank you so much, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Majd Jazia, and today I'm going to be talking about the importance of your relationship with your parents. It all started in Syria. I was with my friends and cousins. I wanted to look cool in front of them. So you know what I did? I took my dad's car. That wasn't the smartest option, but I was just a teenager who wanted to look cool in front of them. We started driving around, and suddenly I wanted something more than that. I wanted to look cooler than just taking the car. So you know what I did? I started driving recklessly. See, I didn't think much of that at that time. I was just a teenager trying to look cool in front of my friends. But when I came back, my father knew about it. He started questioning me about it. I insisted, but he knew. So I told him that I did that. He didn't get mad and he didn't scream at me. You know what he said? He said, Majd, I've been raising you for 15 years now, and today could have been my last. I don't want to look down on you. And at the same time, I trusted you. I looked to you. I thought you valued my trust more. But sadly, you didn't. But anyway, it's not your fault. It's mine for trusting you and giving you a car. See, those words shattered me. I was sitting in my bed, and I kept on crying, but I didn't let crying get the end of me. So I started working towards it. I started working so that this mistake would never happen again. See, after a couple of months, I knew what my dad liked. He always wanted to look at me as a successful man and a person who gets good grades. So I did exactly that. I opened a business, and that business is actually a clothing brand, which is still open to this day. And if you want a discount, just call me. And I remember that one time where he always kept on telling me, get good marks. So I did. And I got a full mark on my English and math exam. He was so proud back then, he actually gave me the car again. But he called me and said, I'm going to trust you again. Please do not break my trust and value my trust more. See, that was a turning point to me. I knew that from that point on, I could never break my dad's trust anymore. That's exactly what happened. My relationship with my father at that time grew stronger than ever. We started traveling together. We started going on car drives. We started going to restaurants. We did everything together. I mean, it got to a point where he actually rented out a sports car for me and him. We started driving around, and he told me to drive. I was so happy then, because, I mean, you have a good relationship with your father. That's literally the best thing you could ever have. But that backfired, as when I was driving around the car alone, I was blasting music and I was so happy. I wanted to test the car's acceleration from 0 to 60. I mean, it's nothing wrong, right? I wasn't speeding. But sadly, the car broke down on the spot. My dad called the mechanic, and the mechanic said that I was speeding. But I wasn't speeding, I was just 0 to 60. My dad was disappointed. He thought that I actually broke his trust again, because the mechanic knew more than I did. And he didn't take my word, he took the mechanic's word, which actually broke my heart. 2 days later, he got a call from the mechanic. And you know what he said? He said that your son is not at fault, the engine itself was just bad. He called me and he said, I'm sorry for trusting another guy more than you, and that shouldn't happen again. And for the real time, just take the car and go wherever you want with your friends. I was so happy, because that's the best thing you could ever have. I mean, a good relationship with your father is literally one of the most important factors in your life. See, we are teenagers, we make mistakes, but we want to feel trusted. We want to feel that we have someone in our back. if my dad back then shouted at me and treated me badly, I would do it again because I didn't know that was a mistake. But he sat with me. He told me that this is a mistake. You could have died. And I don't want to look down at you. So that's the way he talked to me. And that led to me never speeding in the car again. Thank you.
Measured, amazing performance, very confident on stage. I see that you have owned the show. Now, what advice will you give to somebody else who wants to do the same thing?
See, in a public speaking event, you have to be as natural as possible. That means if you want to go off a script, you won't do that good. Rather, you should just like write the points down and make sure you know the points rather than actually memorizing the speech.
That's a great advice. Thank you so much and hope to see you next time. Thank you. How are you doing today?
Great, mister. How are you?
All right. Could you tell us a bit about your speech for this TEDx event?
Today I'm going to be talking about the use of AI not as a plagiarizer, but actually a helper.
All right. That's a very interesting topic. And could you give us an idea, how did you prepare for this event?
Preparation was hard, of course, but with the assistance of Mr. Sulaiman and the whole English department, it was a walk in the park, you could say.
Wow, I'm very glad to hear this. I wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. Firstly, I'm Adam Kalash, and I'm a student in the 10th grade. I think you already got a spoiler about my topic, but let's pretend we didn't see that. Today, I want to talk about a topic that is absolutely everywhere. Come on, it's in your phone, it's in your laptop, it's sometimes in your tablet, it's every single place. Artificial intelligence, AI. AI is amazing. It is beautiful. It can write your essays, it can do your assignments, it can do your projects. It does everything. But for the past few weeks, there's been this little question on my mind that I really can't stop thinking about. Do we use AI to actually expand our potential, or do we use it to get rid of the effort altogether? See, when I first started using AI, I was amazed. It felt like a gift from God. It did my assignments, it did my homework, it did my project, it did every single thing for me. It was like my own little personal assistant. So I started using it on a daily basis, on every single thing. Anything you can think of, I used AI for. Little by little, I felt that something was off, but I really didn't care. I brushed it off. I have something that gets everything done for me, so why think of it? But then one day came and I had this English assignment. It was an essay. And I'm not the type of person who likes writing. So what I did what I do every single time. I went on AI. Please give me 500 words, 5 paragraphs, great vocab. I need something that a teacher would say wow on. Like every single time. But that time I read the essay. I don't know why, I just read it. But after I read it, it felt weird. It felt like it wasn't me. You wouldn't recognize that I wrote it at all. It didn't have that little speck, that little aspect that made me me, that made those writings that made those writings personalized, that made those writings, if someone saw it, it would say, yeah, Adam did it. No, it felt completely different. It didn't have my style, it didn't have my vocab use. It felt weird. So that's the moment I really changed my perspective on AI. The whole industry, the whole thing, every single AI. I changed my perspective on it. Instead of using it as a plagiarizer, I said, hey, let's actually use it as something to help me, to guide me, not give me the answers. That's where AI comes in. See, AI isn't evil. On the contrary, it's very powerful. But that same power could be very, very, very dangerous when it becomes too easy, just like anything in this world. So I started using AI differently. Hey, can you give me some ideas for this writing? Hey, could you give me the steps to this equation? I don't want the final answer. I just want those little steps that will tell me, yeah, okay, then I'll do this, then I'll do this, then I'll do this. That's what I needed. And after that, I noticed that the way we use AI really limits our potential. You lose a lot of potential and a lot of work and you lose effort when you use AI just to plagiarize. That's in everything, not just in school, everywhere. I'd like to think of AI as an instrument. Not to think of as an instrument. Some people play music, yeah? Let's say you want to write a note, a little piece of music writing. You can do one of both options. You can either write it yourself and actually know why you wrote this. Why did you put this note before this note? Why did you do this? Why did you put a little extra onto this part? Or you could use AI. Make it generate the song for you. But let's say you actually do that. Let's say you tell AI, hey, give me the notes to this song. Great, you have the song, you have the notes, you have everything. Explain. Okay, why did you put this note before this note? Why did you do this? Where did you know this? How did you know this? When? That's really great, but could you just elaborate on it? You wouldn't know what to say. That's in everything. If you don't know what you wrote, you're not going to be able to explain it. That's in everything. So AI is very helpful, very. But it's helpful if we use it in the right way. Let's look back at calculators. Calculators when? A few hundred years ago? Calculators, when they first came out, people were crazy about it. Let's not say people. Actually, let's split people into two groups. We'll take an educator group and educated. What does that mean? Educated, your everyday student, not just students, someone who wants to learn, someone who's looking for that piece of information that would help him. He's looking for a piece of information, he's looking for that little step. He wants to know something. He needs that piece of education to help him. And then you have the educators, teachers, homeschool, someone who gives you that piece of information you're looking for. Let's see what they felt. The educated, we finally got a break. Math is done. No one's going to do math. I have the answer. Why would I need to do anything? And the educators, students are just done. We're not going to be able to teach math again. No one's going to want to learn math. Why would you want to learn something when the source of that information is right, it's a click away? AI is exactly like that. Exactly. And now, it's not just math. It's every single thing in our life. It's math, it's biology, it's physics, it's English, it's every single thing. See, I wouldn't consider it has the same potential as calculators. No, it has way more potential than it. And we're in that same step where we're crazy about that AI. And we're in that same step where we're educated and we're educators and nobody knows what to do. We're in that same step. So we could do one of both options. We could let AI just ruin us and we're gonna continue our everyday lives. Or we could actually use it to expand our potentials beyond limits we never knew we actually had. Duolingo. Everybody knows Duolingo, I believe. The biggest platform for learning a new language. A while back, Duolingo made a decisive move that they thought would just completely turn the language industry upside down. They replaced their physical workers with AI. From afar, that would look that would seem like, yeah, that's actually great. They're gonna save on worker costs, they're gonna save on maintenance, they're gonna save a lot of time, money, effort. It's gonna change the industry forever. 6 months later, users started finding out, wait, this isn't the language. This is not right. And that's the problem. You never know. Let's say we're 30 chairmen. Combined, we know 15 languages? There are 100 languages. How are you gonna know that this word, this phrase, this sentence is absolutely right? That's the difference between us and AI. We actually take care in our work. Let's say this. You ask AI to give you a great resume. I want you to make me seem like I've been working for the past 10 years and I've been the most dedicated worker. You'll never find someone like me. What if you don't get that job? AI really doesn't care. AI did its job. Let's say you're doing a writing. It gave you that writing. You got, a 50 out of 100? AI doesn't care. It gave you that writing. It's done its job. That's where we as humans come in. We have a little aspect, a little speck that AI doesn't have, and it's called emotions. We take pride into our writing. We take care of our assignments. We feel for the work we actually do. You'll never find that in AI, because at the end of the day, it's just a database. It's just coding. It won't care. It's done its job, just like anyone else. I did my job. I really don't care what's next. That's where we should come in. We should use AI. Use AI. Nobody ever said don't use AI. But use it responsibly and let it push you, let it make you work harder, but don't let it replace you and do not let it use you. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones who are going to care for our work. AI really doesn't care. AI is going to, once you close the tab, it's done. Nobody cares. That's us, the human emotions. We should take care of how we use AI. When we use AI, how should we ask AI? What should we take from AI? That's our part. Nobody ever should just completely rely on AI. That's exactly like relying on a person you've seen on the street walking for the first time ever. It's exactly the same. So that's why use AI, let AI push you, let AI help you, let AI guide you, but never, ever let AI replace you. Never let it use you. Never let it completely brainwash you. Thank you very much.
All right. How are you doing, Saad?
I'm great.
Tell me, how do you feel before you go on stage and deliver your talk today?
I feel nervous. This is my second time talking to the audience.
Okay.
However, I know I'm going to do well.
But I believe that since it's your second time here, so you have more experience, you're more energetic, and then more confident, I presume.
Yes, you're true.
That's very good. All right, best of luck, Saad.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Saad, and today I would like to share with you my goal, my first ever goal. Before, I thought the questions, where do you see yourself after 5 years? What do you want to be when you grow up, as a joke. I didn't really take these questions seriously. And this affected me in the future. Now, one time, I was sleeping, and I woke up in the middle of the night. And after that, I couldn't sleep. So I asked, out of boredom, I asked myself these questions. Where do you see yourself after 5 years? And what is your dream? And all these questions. And it took me 15 minutes just to realize I don't have a dream. I don't have goals. Everyone I know have dreams. They are turning their dreams into goals. And me, sitting there without goal. That's why I needed a solution. So I sat on my desk and searched for successful people and try to compare what they did with what I'm doing right now. And to be honest, this research was a waste of time. Because every single individual have his own way to be successful. Everybody have his own way to reach his goals. I don't have to do what they did to be successful. So I took a promise that I'm going to find my own way to be a successful man. And one time, I had a conversation with one of my friends. And we were talking about colleges and what do you want to be when you grow up, what is your dream. We were in high school, so that was common between us. And I asked, you want to go to Harvard, for example? He said, Harvard is my dream college. I want to go there. Here I just went silent and disappointed because my own friend have a dream, have a goal, and I don't. Just listening to him talking about his dream just felt suffocating because I don't have a dream. What is the difference between me and my friend? Nothing. And then I decided that I'm going to talk to my father about it. I'm going to tell him that I am struggling to find my own dream, my own goal. So I talked to my father and told him, Father, I am struggling to find my own dream, to find my own abilities. What do I do? He said, your grandpa had a goal to reach the Muslims outside the Muslim world and give them the enough knowledge and books to learn about their religion more. And I said, did it work? Did he really reach his goal? He said, yes. Matter of fact, he opened the first Arabic Islamic library in Vienna. And here, I knew two things. The first thing is, everybody have a goal, have dreams. Everybody is trying to reach their dreams. The second thing is, all of them are working except me. And then this conversation motivated me to become more successful, to become the perfect version of myself. So I tried to set goals. I started small. I started to create these scenarios where I'm talking to an audience about everything that happened. And this turned into my goal, to talk to an audience in English. Talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. This conversation turned my life upside down. I'm talking to you in English right now, and I think that my dream is now a reality. Students, colleagues, parents, if you don't have a dream, start dreaming before it's too late. And remember, you can. Thank you.
Hope you all had a lovely experience with us today. Hope you enjoyed the talks. It's been a pleasure having you all, and I hope you enjoyed your time. Thank you so much, and special thanks to our speakers today, to our staff members, and to everyone who honored us with their presence today. Thank you so much. Thank you.